Cool. The situation's sticky. Houdini and get tricky. I hope God really forgive me. I pray Jesus come and get me. I pray the ones that say they're really with me and really with me. And if they not, I pray whatever they do it quickly. Like Jay Garrett, Barry Allen, Wally West. If this the way it is, just know I always gave my best. I tried to make an A, but my tango E, that's my flesh. I could go on and on and on, but I digress. All I know is I've been seeing so I really can't complain. How you gonna ask God to grow it, then get mad when it rains? That's why I keep the same vibe, even when I'm in a wreck. Long as I keep waking up, long as I keep waking up. I finally realize I'm not lonely, I'm just members only. I'm real selective of who I vibe with and who I call my homies. I'm not impressed with love and life is sweet, Zach and Cody. I'm way more impressed with a hater who's not scared to show me. Good head on his shoulders, he in school, he got some sense. But he way too impatient, tired of waiting, he wanna be rich. But brother think the answer is a blick or something he can flip. Don't even have a lawyer's line saved, look brother didn't read the script. I'm trying to lead by example, I'm trying to redefine the answers. Babies being raised by babies, prices going up on Pampers. Food they feed is full of cancer, outside is real Jurassic. The weather's clouded, but I got a million chances. All I know is I've been seeing so I really can't complain. How you gonna ask God to grow it, then get mad when it rains? That's why I keep the same vibe, even when I'm in a wreck. Long as I keep waking up, long as I keep waking.
What's good? What's good? And what's good, everybody? What's good, everybody? It's your boy Red. Another Thursday. Yeah, I'm coming back for my brothers and stuff because, you know, my heart is in the community. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the things that I bring forth are community minded. And it's just like, my new little title say, men don't let men simp. That's just how this thing goes. And it's that's one thing that really like annoys me is when I see a man doing what King Lemuel's mama told him not to do. And I'm gonna pull that scripture up and we're gonna use that as a basis because she was spitting some game. Because when women wake up and realize the nature of their fellow gender, they try to put their sons on. And the ones that have sense, the ones that don't, they don't care. They just be ready to hurry up and try to get them out the house. But they put their sons on and let them know, hey, this is how this game go. This is how this thing do. And a lot. It's as a former simp myself. I've been big enough to admit it. I was definitely a simp going into my second marriage. If I would have paid attention to all the warning signs and not just gone with the nonsense that was fed to men, when they were young, I would have never married that girl. But the system is designed to create simpy dudes. That's why you have a lot of baby boomer men that tell us a lot of stuff that is just straight up simpery, like straight up. The nobody pushed back on happy wife, happy life. Like these niggas was actually out here repeating this stuff on a regular, and it's like y'all didn't see no problem with this. Like I got to quote get like my boy Dr. Umar. Don't you find that suspicious? Don't you find that suspicious? Like we this is a matriarchal system, and I'm actually gonna kind of touch on that a little bit and show you that we're still dealing with the same spirit, man. Like look, it's we often talk about like the sin with Eve and how the devil's still saying the same thing with Eve and blah blah blah. But what we got to understand is this is something that started in the garden. This is something that started in the garden because of lack of leadership. And it started with men, and it started all the way back then. And even now, even though the system is supportive of hyenas, and even though the system is designed to make it so these terrible, crazy Lilith-led loser hyenas that be out here wilding out, they're supported by this colonizer Anglo-led system. They support this crap because they come from a matriarchal society. That's their society and how it's always been. In other societies, you see that the mother is the one who passed it down. So, like for example, with Ashkenazis, if your mom was a Jew, then you are a Jew. It doesn't have anything to do with your father. Now, in the Bible, we know that the proper way of Yah is the man first. So when you read the genealogies in the Bible, you see that it's men. They brought up women here and there because they had multiple wives, and some of them wives wasn't Hebrew. So the Most High specified which son came from which woman and then continued down the line. But it all ultimately begins with men. I see a lot of dudes like, oh, it's just these women. Oh, it's just these women. And again, it goes back to the OG. So what I'm gonna do right here, I'm gonna go ahead and bring this up. First, we're gonna talk about King Lemuel. Then we're gonna talk about the OG, and then I'm gonna make my point on where this comes from, and I'm gonna show, like, brothers, we have no excuses. Yes, yes, they're terrible. They're absolutely ridiculous. I can sit here and be on here all day about it, but we have to understand that this is a monster that men feed. This is a monster that men go into. But first, before I go there, I'm going to go to the wise mother of King Lemuel and spit these words from her. Proverbs 31:1. The words of King Lemuel, the prophecy that his mother taught him. What, my son, and what the son of my womb, and what the son of my vows. That's an interesting. That's I like how she started that out. The son of my womb and the son of my vows. Like, I love that. Give that not thy strength unto a woman, nor thy ways to that which destroyeth kings. Give not, this like, she could have ended it right here. Like, this was the bar right there that, if you wise, you'll sit there and think about this and be like, dang. And I don't think that we realize, like, this scripture here is what broadened the definition of simpery for me, because a lot of times we tend to think that, we're taught simp from we've let the low lifes among us determine the name simp. They call simp a dude that got his stuff together. He don't be out here in these streets, and he ain't never really deal with women. So the women take advantage of him. They call him a simp or a trick or whatever, and she can take advantage of him. And only those men are looked at as simps. The dudes that marry single mothers. Yes, that's simpery. Don't get it twisted. Again, former simp. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, I was one. So I'm gonna tell you, that's definitely 100% simpery. However, the simpery expands beyond that. Even the so-called pimp is a simp. Yes, the pimp, the one that everybody glorifies, walking out with your little platform shoes with the goldfish in it. Be careful going down them stairs, though. It might break, and everybody gonna laugh at you. You out here with all your little clothes. You go to the players' ball. Everybody like y'all. Want to be you. You dressing flashy. You got all these women out here on the stroll, bringing your money back, making sure they do what they do, getting the money out of them tricks and bringing it back to you, making sure you got what you got. You doing what you do. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Oh, look at these niggas is cool. Now them niggas is simps, bro. Them niggas is simps. That is simp. You are giving your power unto women. Where does this man get money? He gets money by manipulating his position as the head. The Most High already has a mechanism in women that looks to men. As much as these chicks get online and yap about decentering men, they online talking about men, ain't they? If they was decentering men, why don't they just go on and live their life and be happy and not get online and have to disparage and talk crap about black men? Why is it that they all the time, 100%, always got to talk about men? They got to get online and say all this crazy, goofy stuff, because they can't beat their programming. You can't beat Yah. If you out here and you a hyena, guess what? You can't beat Yah. It's just like folks that talk about, oh, I don't believe in God and I want to do what I want to do. You can't beat Yah, bro. Your arms are too short. You cannot defy the laws of heaven and earth. The more you try to fight it, the more you're gonna still be in it. That's it. That's it. You're just like, it is what it is. Yah is preeminent. He's over everything. He's in everything. He created all this stuff. You can't get away from him unless you create your own earth, your own body, your own heaven, your own everything, and go transfer it into that. And even then, you can't go transfer into that, because that soul of yours belongs to Yah too. So you got to make a whole new soul. You got to do everything. And of course, you don't have that ability. So you can't escape Yah. You cannot escape Yah. And the problem with the men is a lot of these dudes use the authority that Yah has given us to their own advantage, and that's simpery. Because at the end of the day, they still end up giving their power to a woman. If a pimp, one day all the women wake up and be like, "Nah, we ain't finna do that for you no more." What the pimp gonna do? What he gonna do? what is he gonna do? Well, he gonna get up and he can't go. He make his money from the women. All his power is in the women. The women bring in the money that give him all his control that he do. So he's giving his power over to them, to these dudes, these little, thug dudes that be out here, the chaos that the women love so much. Them niggas is straight up simps. When they get locked up, what's the first thing they do? They send all their work over to their girl house, or they send it to their mama house, or their grandmama house. They put everything. I got everything in my mama name. Ain't got no job, but I stay fly. Simp 1,000%, bro. We've been taught to worship simpery in one form or another. This is the situation they put on us because the status of a simp is what the only way a man can exist in a female-led matriarchal society. So you're going to sacrifice your manhood by either literally becoming a eunuch, which is what we see in these men that be cross-dressing and these homosexual men. They literally take on the form of the priest of this system. This is why you always see hyenas with a gay dude, and the gay dude's always rocking with them, because the priests of the female kingdom are men that have given up their manhood and take on the ways of women. This is what they do. That to even make a better point in this, I'll talk about a little later on about a very well-known God who's into the cross dressing, into the he does womanly things. And this is a well-known God that a lot of folks don't know. Shout out to Shattered Paradise, man, for putting a brother on. I went down a rabbit hole after that episode, and I'm like, oh my goodness. This matriarchal stuff goes deeper than I realize. It's deep, man. This thing is deep, and it's been ancient. And that's what I wanted to prove today. It's to show you that this is nothing new. This sickness, this thing is nothing new. It's not a modern thing. There's nothing new under the sun. And just like I had said earlier, the enemy uses the same thing that he used with Eve. Did God say? Did God say? We always talk about that, but we don't understand that he does the same thing to Adam as well. He is doing the same thing to Adam as well, coming at Adam in a way, and coming at him through his weakness, through the one that his desire is to lead and stuff, but he gonna find a way to use that and destroy you. So what I'm gonna first do is we're gonna go to the man himself, and I'm gonna show you his nonsense. And then we're going to go down with a few other folks that are well known in the Bible and expose the simpery that they were on. So we're going to start with Genesis, and I'm going to go to 3:9. We already know they ate the fruit. Oh, and by the way, fun fact: those who've seen the thumbnail of mine that I have on there, that thumbnail, the original fruit from the apple tree. If you read the book of Enoch, it's not an apple. I said apple tree. It's not an apple. The original fruit from the tree of good and evil is not an apple. It was called a tamarind. And fun fact, the tamarind is a tree that's only found in Africa, and it's got the interesting fruit. That fruit on that in my thumbnail is a tamarind tree. That's what the fruit looked like when Adam and Eve partook of the nonsense that they shouldn't have. They got us all into this mess that we're in, even before our ancestors got to the 400, got to the mess that put us in this 400-year doldrum. So he was the first bringer of mess into there, and that was a tamarind tree. You find that out in the book of Enoch. So that's a good little fun fact. So when you see these jokers with apples, that ain't it. They don't want you to know it's a tamarind, because then they're going to look up what a tamarind is and see that it was in Africa. And then people going to start asking questions. Wait a minute. If the Most High put the garden in Africa and it was in an African-like climate, maybe then Adam and Eve being drawn as blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Anglo-looking jokers is incorrect. I ain't never seen no Anglo woman have a black baby without having a Hebrew man involved. But the Hebrew woman can do that. There's things in Africa. There's all kinds of genetics that point to that. So just throw that in there as a little fun fact. So we're going to start at 3:9. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him, where art thou? And it's funny, if you actually break this down, when you look this up and you get into the part where they made it say, where art thou? The Most High literally said, hey. As a matter of fact, you can come back in here and see that the pronunciation of the word is ay. So he literally was coming through the garden going, hey, Adam, hey, where you at? Yeah, like, I don't know what you did. Come out here and get this whooping. Hey, where you at? The Most High came out there talking about, hey, where you at? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked and I hid myself. And he said, who told thee that thou was naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree where I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman that thou gavest to be with me, she gave me the tree and I did eat. Now here it is right there. Bam! Adam's fate was truly sealed in them words right there. Because the Most High already knew, but I think that if Adam would have took ownership, maybe his punishment would have looked a little different than what it was. But the first thing Adam did was throw his power away to the woman. Now, mind you, the woman did give him to eat, yes, but he still chose to look at that fruit and be like, that's that fruit the Most High told us not to eat. Oh, she done took a good little bit bite out of that fruit. She don't look dead. She still walking. She okay. And she ain't died. Then let me get a little something off that. Let me get a little piece off of that. Let me bite off a little piece on this other side of it. Let me tear a piece and try a piece. So she ain't dead. Instead of him owning up to what he did, he blamed the woman. That's what I see when I see these dudes today, when they see these hyenas and they be like, oh, it's all women. Oh, this. No, nigga. When I see a dude that got a crazy baby mama, he want to cry. Oh, they crazy. Oh, these women. Oh, man, my baby. Oh, she crazy. You didn't think she was crazy before you ran up in her, my dude? You didn't stop to see if she was crazy before you went and shot up her club with a full magazine. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't think to check the situation. No, you was caught up because she looked good. She was thick. She had a little thickness on her. Oh, look at that. Oh, she thick. Oh, she got that little. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. So you all caught up in the physical stuff. You ain't even worrying about all that. And then you running up in there all reckless and stupid because you led by your lower brain. And you're not looking with your mind, and you gave your power to a woman. Now she got you caught up in the foolishness, and you want to blame the woman. Nigga, it was you. It was you, Adam. Adam, it was you. You had the authority to smack that woman upside her head, kick that snake up out of the doggone garden, drag that woman in front of the Most High, throw her down, and be like, hey, she ate the fruit. I stopped. I didn't eat it because you told me not to eat it. That stupid snake was up here talking that trash. I kicked him out. You can do with him what you want to do. And here she is right here. You do what you got to do with her. But I upheld what you told me to do because I am the leader. And as the leader, I held myself to a higher standard than the woman, and I didn't stoop to her level. But no, he sat there and he lied. He gonna sit here and blame her. Like she just came up and force fed him. Like she just grabbed him and said, eat this nigga, and shoved it down his throat while he was sleeping. It's like, come on, that. Come on, wait a minute. Wait, so, she ain't do none of that, but you want to blame her? This is the OG sin of man, simpery. Giving your power away to a woman. Now, mind you, Adam and Eve at this time were equal. Because again, Adam didn't name Eve until after he was given authority over her. He gave the genus of what she was, woman, like he did with all the animals. He separated the animals according to their divisions and named their genus for what they were. This is this type of bird, you're this bird, you're this lizard, you're that. He gave those different names, but to give an actual specific name, he didn't name himself. That's why he wasn't able to name her, because the Most High created them. So the Most High had the authority to name them. But the Most High, being wise and knowing what he knows, he's like, yeah, I'm going to make this chick. They're going to be in here for a few years, and then they're going to act up. Adam going to do something stupid, and then I'm going to put her under him and let him deal with this headache and let this make him learn to take leadership. I often ask, I said, why Most High? If you know, like the woman wasn't even satisfied to be equal with man. That's the thing. When women talk about equality, stop it. Y'all don't want equality. You want to be God. That's why you around here acting like you the best thing ever just because you got a slit between your legs. You out here acting like that you are the divine feminine and do all this kind of stuff just because you got something that bleeds once a month and you don't die. That don't make you special, my woman. The one that created you makes you special. You're not God. But what the Most High did was like, I'm going to make this man take his authority. He's going to have to take responsibility. I'm going to make him be responsible. I'm going to make him step up and overcome this nonsense. Because the first thing this man did was blame the woman instead of standing on his own too and acknowledging his own mistakes. So we sit here and we get frustrated at women not taking accountability. Brothers, we are literally just reaping the nonsense that the original sin sowed. This is the original sin because Adam didn't take responsibility. Adam didn't take accountability for what he did. The first man did not take accountability. And you still have men today not taking accountability, even though that woman didn't get pregnant by herself. You the one that approached her. You the one that talked her up out of her pants, and you the one that put that baby in her. Now you the one that got to deal with her and all that foolishness because you didn't look before you left. Because you don't want to take responsibility. You want to blame all these women and all this stuff like that. I blame the simps. I blame the simps that feed this because this mindset is still prevalent within men to this day. Whether it's a simp that's doing it because he just being desperate, or whether it's a simp that just act like he like. Well, again, remember what I always say: soon as you talk crap about one of these little stupid hood niggas, what's the first one thing they want to say to you? That's why you don't get no hoes. That's why you don't get no hoes. I get hoes. You don't get no hoes. You don't get. That's number one. When is getting a hoe a flex? Number one, like we got to look at the words that we're saying. Like the words that we say are crazy. I'm gonna bring up another thing too that shows like the English language is ridiculous, but we don't think about the words that we say. Like niggas just be trying to get such a dig. Like, you don't get no for what? So what? Okay, and nigga, that so what does that mean? That what? So okay, and is that am I gonna get to heaven and then the Most High gonna be like, can't let you into heaven. You ain't get no women, so. Sorry, bro. I can't let you in. Like, seriously? Is any of this mess gonna matter when we get before y'all and we get into the people don't understand that this world is just a wreck. It's not forever. It's temporary. It's to get you right. So, what is the point in saying that broken, messed up women favor you because you're also broken and messed up and chaotic? Like, this is what I'm saying. Dudes has got their brain so matriarchal and their mindset that they don't understand. They out here thinking they the man because these broken chicks want to lay with them. And it's like, bro, you're just as big of a simp as the dudes that's out here paying for a single mom to go do on trips. And all she do is talk crap about you and show you no respect. It's one of the same coin. It's all the same. Only the man who is purpose-driven is above this mess. The man that don't fall for the nonsense. The man that ain't with that garbage. We're going to go to our next brother, another one, to show you the other level of simpery. This is my man, Samson. We all know about Samson. But I think when we look at Samson with a different set of eyes and look at this situation a little differently, everybody, the church like to bring it up in a certain type of way. They call it up this or that. Oh, Delilah. Oh, you got a Delilah. They always say it like this, but they don't really talk about what this stupid simp Negro did, because the simp, a Delilah and a Jezebel are enabled by a simp. Wherever you have a hyena, there's some simp that is enabling her behind the scenes. There's some simp somewhere that's going to defend this sorry heifer. He going to put on his fedora. Go, I'll save you, my fair maid. When? Oh, I'm going to come and save you. Bro, you better listen to the now saved Project Pat and his magnum opus. Don't save her. She don't want to be saved. But they do it anyway. And then you got these dudes out here that's running the streets, is out here just like, I just use them for what I want. And then I don't love them. I don't love these hoes. I did do all the little goofy stuff they tell you in rap. That's still simpery, bro. That's still simple. You know how many dudes have been locked up behind a chick? You know how many dudes then got robbed behind a chick and unalive behind a chick? And then we're going to talk about one of the OGs that was unalive behind a chick. Then went Samson to Gaza and saw there a harlot and went in unto her. Now, this is after he done had his first wife killed, and he put the 300 foxes together and burnt the fields up and stuff like that, which, again, another fun fact. Foxes are always associated with fire and trickery. And it's interesting that in Samson, he took foxes and put firebrands and tied their tails between the two by two with firebrands and stuff like that, with foxes and fire. So that's another little interesting little tidbit to throw out there about how the Asians view foxes. And then in here we have in the Bible, he was using foxes with flames to light up their fields. So we already see that my man Samson already got a flesh issue, because right after that, he go up into Gaza, enemy territory, and then he running up to the hoe house. He going in there to get he going in there to play with the hoes. He again, goofy, bro. You called out, you set apart, but you out here running with the hoes. What's wrong again? And now he in enemy territory. So, and it was the Gazites, and it was told the Gazites, saying, Samson is come hither. And they compassed him and then laid in wait for him all night in the gate of the city and were quiet all the night, saying, in the morning, when it is day, we shall kill him. So he already know that these niggas don't like him, but he going over there again chasing trim, chasing chicks. You know what I'm saying? He playing with it. So in Samson lay till midnight and arose at midnight and took the doors of the gate of the city and the two posts and went away with them, bar and all, and put them upon his shoulders and carried them up to the top of a hill that is before Hebron. So again, because he got the ability, he playing with it. He out there playing with it. Just like he played when he went in with the honey, knowing he Nazarite ain't supposed to touch the dead thing, but he was trying to touch honey inside a dead lion. And now here he is, knowing that these niggas out here are trying to kill him. But I'm gonna stop up in here and see what little mama make it do. And then he just gonna get up and then flex to get out. But it's like, bro, why were you even there? Why were you even there? Why was that even necessary? No, bro. Your mom and your daddy telling you, get a woman from your own place. Get a woman from your own place. Now, again, it happened with the Philistines the first time because the Most High set that up. But this mess that he's about to go through right here, it's like, bro, you was just out here doing what you was doing. And in Judges 16:4. And it came to pass afterwards, he loved the woman in the valley of Sorek, whose name was Delilah. And the lords of the Philistines came up to her and said unto her, entice him, and see wherein his great strength lieth, and by what means we may prevail against him, that we may bind him to afflict him, and we will give thee every one of us 1,100 pieces of silver. Do we not see a pattern, bro? Again, this ain't nothing new what we dealing with right now. The enemy always know, okay, I can't come to the man. He too strong. We can't go after the men. They come at you through the women. They use the women because they are afraid of us. They don't want a Hebrew man with his mind right. A Hebrew man with his mind. Why do you think that them folks over there in the so-called Middle East said that the most dangerous thing to them are the young black males in America? Because a young black man, a Hebrew man, a so-called black man, but a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that's been caught up in this 400 years of slavery and servitude to these Anglo nonsense jokers, is fearful to them when he got his mind right. When he is focused and don't give his power over to a woman, and they can't manipulate you with the nonsense and they matriarchal nonsense, that you're uncontrollable. You're uncontrollable. That's when they try to take you out. That's why they took out Malcolm X. Malcolm wasn't on a program. Malcolm wasn't on that nonsense. Malcolm came out and spoke it like it was. He couldn't be controlled. He wasn't like Mr. Martin Luther King, who loved to dabble in. He liked a little cream in his coffee and had a strange taste that people talk about all the time. They couldn't just throw a couple Anglo women at him and get him to shut up. Nah, my man wasn't built like that. He was a man of purpose, a man who couldn't be bought. When he noticed that even his own folks was doing that, he separated from them and came against that nonsense. That's why to this day, Farrakhan don't like talking about Malcolm, because he know he was wrong. He's one. He on the same team with these sorry jokers. He ain't on our side, just like all them other so-called civil rights leaders and all them jokers is bought and paid for boo late. And Malcolm called that out. He was uncontrollable. That's why they had to take him out. That's why anytime when even with your boy Michael Jackson, they had to bring him under control. They're like, oh, this nigga getting too much power. Or he getting a little famous and he got all this stuff. So let's throw some dirt on his name. So that way later on, when he was telling folks about how they changed history books and he making songs, they don't really care about us. And then they, saying all kinds of stuff. Look at some of the stuff they said about that song and listen to that song uncensored and hear what he said in that song and see why not too long after he made this song, his sorry behind simp doctor gave him up to the powers that be and with that nonsense. See, we got to understand, anytime a man walks in truth, when you walk in your purpose, meaning that I walk before the Most High Yah, I'm not going to let no female, I'm not going to let no Anglo mess, I'm not going to let nothing take me off the path that the Most High put me on. And this is what I'm going to do no matter what. That's what they don't like. That's why they can't stop you directly, because they can't stop you. But what they can do is use the curse of Balaam and throw them females at you. But they done got even more craftier. They're not throwing just the foreign females at you. They're throwing your own women at you. It's your own women that they using against you. And as a man, you can stand up against it. I don't care how fine she is. I don't care how good she looks. I don't care if she got every good little thing that she could say and all this type of stuff. I don't care when she spit Jolly Ranchers and nut now and laters come out of her mouth. I don't care. Kick that heifer to the curb if she not on team Most High Yah and submitting to authority. yielding to authority. And Delilah said to Samson, 16:6, tell me, I pray thee, wherein thy great strength lieth, and wherewith thou mightest be bound to afflict thee. Like, already, Samson should have just got up, looked at her, rolled his eyes, and got to stepping. Nope, I'm sending you back to where you came from. Go back to your daddy. I'm done here. We're done here. He should have already known that, all right, why is this chick going to come up here and ask me what the secret to my power? She's trying to figure out what my kryptonite is. She's trying to, okay, you know, what you need to know my weakness for? What's this for this? And so she said, and tell me. And Samson said unto her, if they bind me with 7 green wheats that were never dried, then shall I be weak and be as another man. Now, this should have been his test right here. Okay, I'm going to test you. And then this is what this heifer did. Then the lords of the Philistines brought up to her 7 green whisps which had not been dried, and she bound him with them. And now there were men lying in wait, abiding with her in the chamber. And she said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he brake the whisps as the thread of a toe is broken, and when it touches the fire. So his strength was not known. So she out here, he tell her what happened. She went and did it, had niggas hiding in the cut, ready to jump him. Like, do we not see this happening? I know a girl right now who, I don't know if she got it expunged because I had to kind of stop dealing with her because she started messing with witchcraft and stuff. And even though she was the homie, you mess with witchcraft, we can't rock. I don't even mess with my own family members that deal with witchcraft. So why in the world I'm gonna deal with you? And she had suffered her charge because some of her homeboys used her as bait to get this nigga in this room. She went and she acted like she was trying to talk to this dude, and he took her back to the place, and the dudes was lying in wait. And they robbed that nigga, and they beat him with a gun. And I want to say that they didn't kill him, but they beat him with a gun, and they I don't know if it shot at him or something, but somehow she ended up with a felony on her because of what they did. She didn't do the beating. She brought him in, which I'm glad that they did that. You know, and I'm like, yeah, good. You know, she was just as culpable because she brought him in there. But this is what Delilah's on. And any man with some sense that done been around should be able to tell you that this is a known thing. It's a known thing. Niggas, I remember niggas warning me about if you go into a city you're not normal with, and you find all of a sudden you see this super fine girl and she pushing up on you and it just seems too good to be true. Nah, check that. Check that. She might be setting you up to get robbed. I know too many brothers that this happened to on so many different occasions. They be getting set up with chicks, and that's essentially what's happening here with Delilah. She was trying to set this nigga up, and instead of this nigga, after the first time, okay, exactly what I told her to do, she did it, and then she gonna say the Philistines on me. So obviously you would think he would go, don't you find that suspicious? Come on, Samson, don't you find that suspicious? No, she probably, you know how women do. She probably put on, put the little tears on him and all this and this and that, and then put some more lustful nonsense on him, and he just sit there sucking his thumb, going to sleep like a stupid idiot, and she's still plotting on the next time. And Delilah said unto Samson, behold, thou hast mocked me and told me lies. Now tell me, I pray thee, wherewith thou mightest be bound. Now she tried again. And he said to her, if they bind me fast with new ropes that were never occupied, then shall I be weak as another man. And Delilah took new ropes and bound him therewith and said unto him, Samson, the Philistines be upon thee. Samson, and there were liars in wait, abiding in the chamber. Again, she trying to set the nigga up, and he broke them off his arms like a thread. Now, at this point, you would think that any man of common sense, any person of common sense would be like, I don't think this woman I don't think she has my good intentions. 2 times I told her this, and then she tied me up with this. Like, what is this obsession? Like, you would think that this nigga would start putting 2 and 2 together. He would start working this thing out and figuring this thing out. No. And Delilah said unto Samson, hitherto thou hast mocked me and told me lies wherewith thou mightest be bound. And I don't know why. Why don't you trust me? I don't know why you don't trust me. You just say you love me. You don't love me. You won't share your whole secrets with me. And I don't know why you're like this. He should have just been looking at her and tell her, hey, just get your stuff. You got to go. Like this should have been you got to go, and that should have ended this part of the chapter, and he could have went on judging Israel. But no, this nigga's stupid. He was a simp. And she hitherto told me lies. And then he said to her, if thou weavest the 7 locks of my head with the web. And then so now he was like, okay, well, I got my 7. So that means he had what's some locks called? Freeforms. He had them he probably had some dope looking freeform, thick behind 7 thick locks, freeform. So he's like, yeah, if you put the locks up in the hair, then it is what it is. Also, that just goes to show that he was a Hebrew dude, because I don't know if y'all seen Anglos with locks. You can't have no 7 freeform locks with Anglo hair. It don't work like that. And she fastened it with a pin and said unto him, the Philistines be upon thee, and Samson, it's upon thee, Samson. And he awakened out of his sleep and went away with the pin of the beam and with the web. See, this is what happens sometimes, because you used to things going your way because of grace. As a man, you feel like, I dodged a couple bullets, I'm good, these shorties, I got a handle on these shorties, I know what I'm doing. So you start playing with fire. Again, simpery, because he's still sitting here playing with his strength with this woman. Instead of being like, now 3 times I done told this heifer what it was, and 3 times she done tried to set me up and do this. Maybe she don't have my best interest in mind. Maybe I should get up and go home. and leave from around this heifer and go find me another place to abide by and go be in the wilderness like my future ancestor is going to say, because this is before this is he was tripping. He was giving his power all over to a female. So, Judges 16:15, and she said unto him, how canst thou say I love thee? So here it is. Where is thy heart? Is not as with me. Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and has not told me where is thy grace. Oh, she put the tears. Oh, man, she probably put all kinds of guilt trip on it. And it came to pass. She pressed them daily, every day. She crying. She giving the silent treatment. She acting crazy. She being goofy. So that his soul was vexed unto death. She got on his last nerve. And instead of this nigga putting her out like he got some sense, he did the stupidest thing. And then he told her all his heart and said unto her, there hath not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto Yah and from my mother's womb. And if I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man. And when Delilah saw that he told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, saying, come up this once, for he has shown me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came unto her and brought the money in their hand. It's all about money. This is what I'm trying to. What do you see from these hyenas that's out here running around now? It's all about money. If you want to come talk to me, you gotta pay for me. You gotta pay for me. Oh, you want to come talk to me in the grocery store? Pay for my groceries. Pay for my groceries. You need to pay for my groceries. Pay for my time. You need to pay for my time. My time is that special. If you want to talk to me, pay for my time. It's all about money, mammon, their god. And she said, the Philistines. Oh, and she made him sleep upon her knees. Oh. She probably gave him some good drink, you know what I'm saying? Just had him all loved up and tipped up, and he going to sleep with love all on him, and she set his tail up. And she called for a man, and she caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. And she began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson. And he awoke out of his sleep and said, I will go out as other times before and shake myself. And he was not that the Lord had departed from him. He was so caught up in the nonsense, he ain't even realized that he ain't even have the ruach no more. He ain't all that. He was regular. He was regular degular. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. See, you out here messing with these chicks. Now you blinded and you locked up in jail. How many brothers are to this day locked up by our occupiers? Because remember, at this time, the Philistines were the occupiers over the Hebrews. They were pretty much the ones. They were in the position that we was in, except they weren't dealing with Anglos, they were dealing with Philistines. And that's what happened. She set him up for the state, and the state came in there and did what they did. Does this sound familiar? Don't that sound familiar? And then the lords of the Philistines gathered. The Philistine took him, put out his eyes, brought him down to Gaza, bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. Howbeit, the hair of his head began to grow again after he was shaven. Then the lords of the Philistines gathered them together to offer a great sacrifice unto Dagon, their god. And excuse me, and rejoice, for they said, our God hath delivered Samson, the enemy, into our hands. Dagon. Let's pull up Dagon, real quick. Hold on. This is Dagon. Doesn't that look like Zeus? That's a statue of Zeus, but it's also, they say, a statue of dog dragon / Mamas from Gaza, portrayed in the style of Zeus. Huh. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? And then they have his equivalents in Lil and the Hurrian Komorabi, the Ogarthic El. What people don't understand and realize is, let's look at what Dagon was. Dagon was a god worshipped in ancient Syria across the middle of the Euphrates, with primary temples located in Tutul and Turka. Though many attestations of his cult come from cities such as Mari and Emar, as well as in settlements situated in the upper Euphrates area. He was regarded as the father of gods, similar to Mesopotamian Enlil, Hurrian, or Komorabi. Who else do we know is the father of gods? Oh man, that sounds like another guy that goes by a different name. As well as Lord of the Land, a god of prosperity and a source of royal legitimacy. A large number of theoporic names, both masculine and feminine, attests that he is a popular deity. So he basically had a gender neutral bringing. He didn't present only as a man, he also presented as a female. Remember what I said earlier about being in the cult of this place and how it always is like, okay, I'm gonna go on. Let's see here. I want to go. There was another part that I wanted to read. Where he said that, oh, here it is. The multiple origins have been proposed for Dagon's name. According to the Phileo of Biblos, the Phoenician author of the Shanturiathon, explained Dagon as a word for grain, Seton. Historian Manfred Hutter considers it possible that the god's name derives from the root dgn, to be cloudy, which he interprets as a sign that he was originally a weather god. He's God of all gods, and he's also deals with the weather, notoriously clouds. They say that the notion of Dagon being a weather god is rejected by most researchers of this deity. Of course they would, because then you would be able to put two and two together and figure out that you're talking about the same dude as this guy right here, my man Odin. So Odin also was the All-Father, God of wisdom. Again, that's what that's where we coming into here. He was the god of weather. He was also a god that he was called the father of gods. Odin is called the All-Father. A lord of the land, as well as lord of the land. The trees were attributed to Odin. That's why they buried him from the tree. He was called the god of the hanged man, where they hanged him from the trees. Again, land. It's so many, but the key thing here, there's another one, is masculine and feminine. One thing folks don't know about Odin practices feminine magic, was my search, and then Braves AI gave me my perfect answer here. Odin practiced saber or sail. I forget how they say that. Sailor. It's like Seder. I've heard it pronounced Seder and all these other different things, but he practiced this magic, a form of Norse magic traditionally associated with women and considered unmanly, ergi, for males to perform. He was called ergi by Loki, because him and Loki was kind of going back and forth, trashing each other. And Loki was like, yeah, you out here, doing female magic. That's basically, he told him that's gay. That's what that means. It's like, bro, that's gay. Hey, you're acting effeminate. That's gay. That's what he told him. You're doing women things. So, the source, Odin learned Cedar from Vanir, the goddess Freya, who taught the Aesir this craft after an alliance between the two clans. Seder involves altering consciousness, spirit journeying, and manipulating fate, often performed by female practitioners known as vulvas. Oh, isn't there a female part of the body that sounds like that? Isn't that interesting? That's why I say, when I tell y'all the English language is demonic, this is what it's. That's all I'm saying. That when you have a hyena and they talk about them being a table, what's the first thing they want to talk about? First thing they talk about, I got good vulva. I got good vulva. They say it much more dirty. I'm giving you the PG-13 version. I got good vulva. They think that vulva is their key to everything. Everything. And then the old women that used to practice this nonsense of divination and spirit journey and an altering consciousness were called vulvas. Very, very, and then coincidental that most of these hyenas also end up outside, charging their crystals by the moonlight like they on some Sailor Scout nonsense type of junk. They always end up in some old witchcraft. These be the main one talking about manifesting, altering consciousness by manifesting and all this other stuff. See, they changed the name of all this stuff to make people think that we're doing something different, but we're still dealing with the same people and we're still dealing with the same principalities and powers that our ancestors dealt with. They just redressed themselves as something else. This is what we're dealing with here in America to this day right now. America is this same place because this is a matriarchy that has everything. Why do you think they got that eunuch out there at on Liberty Island that greets you? I'm sorry, on Ellis Island that greets all the people that come in, talking about Lady Liberty. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. There was also this eunuch who served I want to say what was her name? Essentially it was a Nana. I want to say it was Diana, one of the lustful goddesses, and he served this goddess by basically chopping off his manhood and becoming a priest in her section. So he cross-dressed like a woman, and when you look him up, he has the crown on like the Statue of Liberty. Again, check out Shattered Paradise in their video with the rabbit without Bad Buddy. I don't know if the one on YouTube shows everything. You might have to drop $5 on their Patreon. It's well deserved because their videos be dropping some dimes. I'm not gonna reteach what they have. I'm gonna send you to them. That thing right there, eye-opening. And it's a complimentary to what I'm even talking about now because it's proof showing you that we live in a matriarchal nonsense that is anti-male, that wants to kill male. It's literally the same spirit that was around in Egypt when they was killing the young boys, the same spirit that had Herod killing the young boys, the same spirit that after they lost to the Babylonians had them killing the men, tossing them off, that they made the whole Babylonian relief about. They've always sought to kill men. Always. It's always been about you, men. They try to make us seem like we significant and they try to throw us to the back burner, tell us we ain't this and tell us we ain't that. No. They want to tell you that so you believe that, so you will simp along with their system and not stand up and gird your loins up like a man that the Most High called you to be and walk in your purpose. Regardless if these stupid hyenas give you time of day or not, you walk in your purpose. That's the thing that matters. Not if any one of these little heifers want to give you a sniff of they used up taco. Most of the time, you now serving number 35. Now that's a good number, actually. Most of the time, it's even higher. Now serving number 50. Now serving 105. Now serving 110. They can't even give you an accurate number. And you want to simp for that? To be Mr. It's just my turn? It's not mine, it's my turn? Are you serious? Walk in purpose. Don't worry about what this system and this society, this feminized society say about you. Oh, you ain't got this. Oh, you ain't doing that. Oh, you supposed to have this. You supposed to have a house. Or you supposed to have a this. Or you supposed to have that to take care of a woman. For what? If the Most High had John the Baptist out living in the wilderness, what are they? Oh, he only out here in the wilderness. He only eat meat. He out here eating locust tree stuff, and he be out here just preaching the word all day. He don't never want to take me on trips. He don't never want to go nowhere. He don't never want to do all he is talking about the kingdom of God, and he anointed the Messiah. And none of that stupid mess that they put up had anything to do with that. But his heart and his drive for the Messiah, doing his purpose that the Most High had him to do. That is what you should be concerned with as a man, not this other nonsense, not getting caught up in this stupid mess that they put before you. Oh, you should have this and you should have that. All this mess is a lie, top to bottom. Stop downing yourself because you don't fit in a stupid society that was designed for you to fail. They tell you not to get a house, and then they offer houses with a 50-year lease on it, where it's so stupidly expensive. A house that sold for $75,000 back in the 80s, they trying to sell it to you for almost $400,000. But then they want to tell you, "Oh, you're a brokey. Oh, you're a brokey. You're a brokey." The society want to tell you, oh, you should be this, or you should be here, or you should be that, but they got rid of everything that can push you there. Now they got all these young men out here feeling like they calling them lame and losers and all this stuff, when these jokers can't even get a job at McDonald's because you got grown folks working at McDonald's, and McDonald's don't even hire people no more because you come in and you don't even talk to a human. You talk to the robot. They don't even have humans no more. Remember when McDonald's used to have like 4-5 lines registers, and you have people lined up at 4-5 registers? They don't even put the menu up no more. You got to go to the kiosk. They tell you all these different things and then pull away all the stuff. They tell you, oh, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Take away your boots. Take away your straps. Take away your shirt. Take away your socks. Leave you naked in the cold, and they'll be like, look, you're a loser. Stop letting this stupid system make you feel lesser of a man because you don't fall into a matriarchal nonsense that's designed for you to fail anyway. All these chicks bragging, I went to school, we the most educated, which is a lie. Black women aren't the most educated. Going to a college don't make you educated. It means you just went through their sexual factory to get a fake diploma that makes you feel like you got some knowledge, so they can extract that money up out of you. Ask how many of these chicks got. Why you think they out here crying about getting relief from their student loans? Out here paying $100,000 for loans for underwater basket weaving, but then want to run around and be like, we the most educated. We the most educated. We got more education than the black man. We the most educated. But when it come down to getting money, oh, they don't tell you that the Hebrew man is actually up there. I think we only behind, like, and last time I saw the numbers, we was like behind Asians. I think, we were like behind, it was Asians, white men, and then Hebrew men. Again, jokers that face no kind of obstacles, barely any obstacles, if any. And, the dudes that's pretty much public enemy number one on the whole earth right now, aside from the Messiah. And we number 3 in a system that just is designed, everything that they do is designed to keep us down and out and to keep us going. The reason why all these jobs are over in Asia right now and China and Malaysia and all that is because they wanted you to be broke, black man. They took your jobs away from you and then told your woman she didn't need you. And then they turned around and put drugs in there because they knew you was down and out. They knew you was feeling some way. They knew you had nothing but to escape into this nonsense of this crack cocaine. And they put the foundation for the 80s crack epidemic, the 90s nonsense, and then the gangster rap. They set all this stuff up. We understand this, but that don't mean we have to keep falling for it. They don't tell you about how these millennial dudes is more present fathers than any other group. It's even a study done that says that Hebrew men are more present as fathers. We care for our families. We care for our children. And they know this. And this is why they enforce these hyenas and got hyenas all in this injustice system for doing nonsense. Seen the thing where this stupid hyena made this man pay child support for a baby that wasn't his. He went and got a test done. The baby wasn't his. And the stupid heifer still made him pay because the woman wrote the name on the birth certificate. She even admitted that she just wrote his name on the birth certificate. But the stupid heifer behind the bench still made that man pay child support for the kid that wasn't his. But you want to tell me this is justice? These Anglos and religious folks. Oh, we're going. America's being judged because of homosexuality. No, you're being judged because you have injustice all throughout your system. There's no justice in your system. But because you know that there's no justice in the system, Hebrew man, stop putting yourself in a position to be there. If you don't get that. Ain't no chick never put me on that because I ain't never got no chick pregnant. Can't no chick put you on papers if you don't give her no reason to. You can't. If you move smart, I remember there are plenty of times where a chick will come up and I'm like, I know it's in the bag. I can just tell. But in my head, I will go, you know what? If it's this easy for me, how easy was it for the next dude? How easy was it for that dude? That kept me out of a lot of trouble. And that kept me out of a lot of situations that was dumb. When you look back and you thinking with your lust, you're like, oh man, that could have been this. Oh, that could have been a movie. Oh, that could have been this. That could have been that. Yeah, you also could have been caught up with a doggone crazy hyena who got your kids with your progeny, your future getting poisoned and screwed up because you can't control yourself. We don't think about that. We don't think about our future. We don't think about that. We just thinking about me right now. I'm going to get something right now. Not thinking about that child that's going to be born, that's going to be stuck in this stupid hyena home and how she's going to weaponize that child against you. You don't think about that. You're not thinking about how now she over there in the house doing y'all knows what with who knows who in front of your child. You don't We can't keep blaming them. If you hold yourself accountable and stop giving your power over to the system, they have no power over you. We see that this system is designed this way. That Dagon is basically what they call it's syncretism for Odin. Again, remember, all of humanity used to speak the same language. So when the languages got separated during the fall of the Tower of Babel, everybody walked away with the same gods in mind, but they just started calling them different names. So Dagon, Odin, they the same thing, bro. That's why they had knew to come to this woman. That's what was empowering this woman to give them this power. They were thanking this matriarchal, gender-neutral gay god for his power and giving him power over their enemies. And we all know what happened after that. Samson crushed them all in that big old theater and all that stuff. He was able to redeem himself, but it cost his life. Being a simp cost him his life. Oh, but being a simp gets way worse. It gets way worse. Do I want to go here? Yeah, I'm gonna go here because then I'm gonna go to the OG simp of the Bible. To me, this man, he's the OG simp of simps of the Bible. After this dude right here. But David, another man, he was the king, great power, great authority. Man after y'all's own heart, but David did a dumb, stupid, dumb thing. Dumb thing. I often think about this and I'll be like, poor Uriah, man. Justice for Uriah. Uriah got some justice from y'all, but I'll be feeling bad for Uriah because literally Uriah's issue, and this kind of goes both ways. This shows simpery on both sides because I'm gonna explain it to you as we go. So it came to pass after the year was expired at the time when the kings go forth to battle that David sent Joab and his servants with him and all the Israels. They destroyed the children of Ammon and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still at Jerusalem. So they had a military campaign and they out here about to take out the children of Ammon. David's hanging back at Jerusalem, but he sent the rest of the army up forward ahead of him. And it came to pass in the evening, David arose from off his bed and walked upon the roof of the king's house. And from the roof, he saw a woman washing herself. And the woman was very beautiful to look upon. Now, see, there's two wrongs in this situation right here. Two wrongs. Because, you can't say, I know a lot of women say, oh, well, she was just outside minding her business. And here come David. And blah, 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 blah. No. David was number one wrong because David should have took his tail and look, I seen this woman. Should have turned around and went downstairs and he got like, about 15, 20 some odd, wives and concubines out there at his disposal. That's what he should have did. So that was the fault right there, number one, with David. I fault David the most with this because you are the king. You are the man in this situation. You are the head and not the tail. You had a choice in what to do. You sat there and watched her. And then this heifer, she knew she was visible. Yeah, it's evening time and she thought it was dark outside, but you're visible. I've seen different women that talk about the life in Africa and the villages and stuff. And they actually do have certain places in villages where they have to shower outside. And what a lot of them do is they have like a special place that they'll go to separate it. They could close themselves off. I seen one lady, she actually grew these plants up into like a thicket where you couldn't see. So she could go in there, she could run the towel over and you couldn't see in there. Hey, she can get her water, she can go do what she got to do and she's good to go. Ain't nobody in there all peeping and looking all up on her. So she knew what she was doing. She knew, she probably looked up there plenty of times and seen David up there doing what he was doing. He up there doing his royal thing, out there chatting and talking and doing stuff like that. Oh, the king can see from here. Oh, what happened to the king? He might see a little. Let me go ahead and see if I can make that thing do what it do. She knew what she was doing. And let me tell you how I know. And David sent and inquired after the woman, and one said, "Is this not Bathsheba, the daughter of Eliam, the wife of Uriah the Hittite?" And David sent messengers and took her, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her, for she was purified from her uncleanness, and she returned unto her house. Now, if she was a woman again, remember, our forebear, Sarah, Abraham's wife, she was in the same situation. This situation with Uriah also explains why the Abram did what he did in them cities back in the day. There's a saying in Chinese. I love this saying. Treasuring a jade ring becomes a crime, or huabi ki shui. It means that a person's talent will arouse envy in others. The treasure that a man has will arouse envy in others. And that's what would happen. If you had a wife that was fine, they was like, oh, we gonna handle it. Oh, okay, we like that. And they're gonna try to take that woman from you. And they're gonna do it anyway. They'll kill you and take the woman. They'll find a way, like David found a way with your boy. We all kind of know this story and stuff like that. But she, when Sarah was taken, she didn't. She still had to obey her husband because she told him she was his sister. But at the same time, she inquired of the Most High. She said, "Most High, I am this man's wife. You already know this situation. I need you to move for me so that I don't defile my husband and to get us out of this situation. I can't tell him this because I don't want him to kill my husband, but I also don't want to sleep with this man to defile my husband. You know, then the Pharaoh, mind you, he had no devious intention because he thought that this was his sister. You know what I'm saying? Because Abram was like, bro, if I tell him that, you know, Sarah fine, man, she look good, she bad, and if I tell him that this is my wife, these niggas might kill me. I'm a nobody in this land. I don't got my name like that in this land. So it ain't nothing for them to wipe me out and to take all my stuff. You know, I'm riding by, I got all this money, I got fine women, they can kill me and take my stuff. So he was being prudent. And the Most High showed up and showed out for that situation. How do you think that Bathsheba wouldn't be able to do the same thing? You don't think that these stories weren't passed down also to our forebears? They understood these stories. They had a better understanding than we did. Because they had a pure, unmayonnaise, contaminated record of the situation. So they probably understood it far better than we understand it even now. So she knew she could have called upon the Most High, and the Most High definitely would have checked David, and this whole situation would have been different. Uriah would have been doing what he's doing. She would have went back home, been a purified wife, and David would have just got a slap on the wrist, been like, nigga, what would you think he was doing? Everything would have been different. So she had a way out. It wasn't like, oh, well, he was a king, she forced him. No, there's always a way out. There's always a way out. She could have definitely gone to the Most High, and the Most High would have given her a way out. So both of them was on the wrong on this situation. And so the woman conceived and sent and told David and said, I am with child. And David sent Joab saying, send me Uriah the Hittite. And Joab sent Uriah to David. And when Uriah was come unto him, David demanded of him how Joab did and how the people did and how the war prospered. Now David being playing dirty. Now, you know, he acting like, oh, you know, how are things with the war? How goes the war, Uriah? He don't care nothing about that. He don't care nothing about that. He's just like, I got to get this man to sleep with this woman so that way he'll think that this baby his, and then we can just let this thing go, and ain't nobody going to know about this because this kind of crazy. I'm messed up. I done gave my power to this woman, and now I got to deal with the situation. Remember, I was just talking about these niggas and getting mad at these chicks that have the babies and they want to cry afterwards and all this type of stuff like that. Here you go. And now he's trying to cover it up. Instead of taking ownership and just paying Uriah and taking your L like you supposed to. Nah, he's digging himself in deeper because he gave his power over to a woman. And now he got to make up more lies and add more sin to the situation. And David said to Uriah, go down to thy house and wash thy feet. And Uriah departed at the king's house, and there followed him a mess of meat from the king. He done sent him food and drink and all this stuff. He trying to get this man, you know, in a festive mood. But Uriah slept at the door of the king's house with all the servants of his lord and went not down to his house. And when they had told David, saying, Uriah went not down into his house, David said unto Uriah, camest thou not from thy journey? Why does thou not go down to the house? Why don't you want to go home? It's your home, man. Go home. You know, say hi to your wife. Spend some time with your lady. You know, what are you doing? Trying to cover it up. But Uriah was a righteous man. And David said to Uriah, tarry here today also. Oh, and Uriah said, sorry, I skipped 11. And Uriah said unto David, the ark and Israel and Judah abide in tents, and my lord Joab and servants of my lord are encamped in open fields. Shall I go into mine house and eat and drink and to lie with my wife? As thou livest and thy soul liveth, I will not do this thing. That man was a righteous man. He was thinking about his people. He was thinking about all his folks. He wasn't trying to be out here running no nonsense. He was righteous, and his righteousness was making David look extra stupid because David out here trying to cover up his nonsense. See, the simp doesn't like it when a man that's led by purpose. That's why a lot of times you see these dudes come at you and you don't move like them and you don't act like them, because when you move with purpose, it exposes who they are. They get shown who they are because they want to believe, oh, you just can't help it. You just got to look. Oh, we just made with our nature. That's just how we are. This is how we are as a man. But when you say, nah, I don't look. Nah, I don't pay attention. When they out here geeking out over some old hyena with a thick booty, you over here looking the other way. They looking at you. Oh, this nigga must be gay. Oh, what's wrong with you? Oh, it don't hurt nothing to look. It don't hurt nothing to look. No, nigga, I walk a different path than you sorry simp niggas. I will not give my power. My cojones will stay where the Most High put them. I will not hand them over to this system. Straight up. My loins will be girded where they are. They're not gonna be snapped off and given to some old chick. Nah, we gonna keep them right here, my man, and we're gonna stand on our own too and stand on business. And that's what Uriah was doing. So David said to Uriah, tarry here today also, and tomorrow I will let thee depart. So Uriah abode in Jerusalem that day and tomorrow. And when David had called him, he did eat and drink before him, and he made him drunk. And at even he went out to lie on his bed with the servants of his Lord, but went not down to his house. Even when he was drunk, even when he was in there, he done got him, he done bought him some good food, some good drink, they done sitting there, they just party hardy, and he was still, even when he was drunk, he not finna do it. My man was righteous. And when David called him, and then 14. And it came to pass in the morning, David wrote a letter to Joab and sent it by the hand of Uriah. And he wrote in the letter saying, set ye Uriah in the forefront of the hottest battle and retire ye from him that he may be smitten and die. Joab had to do David's wet work, bro. Even though Joab went out kind of sad in the end, Joab was doing David's wet work, man. I know Joab read this and be like, this nigga. No, but what can you do? That's your king. That's the king. You know what I'm saying? And now he finna take this man out because he want to be righteous to hide his situation. He gonna go and get this man taken out. And it came to pass when Joab observed the city, he assigned Uriah into a place where he knew that valiant men were. And the men of the city went out and fought with Joab, and there fell some of the people of the servants of David, and Uriah the Hittite died also. See, this is that nonsense. This is that nonsense. He used what another idiom to borrow, another idiom for the Chinese. They say he used a borrowed sword. He used a borrowed sword to handle his dirty work because he couldn't control himself. He was out here giving his power. He was simping for this woman. And then because the woman was a married woman, he took the nigga out to cover up his nonsense. Now, I ain't gonna read the whole rest, but we know that because of this, David's whole harem got basically, he did it in secret, but Absalom slept with all his women in front of all the people, shaming the family. There was a lot of shame that was brought into the family. And then even unto Israel itself, the whole kingdom got split because this man wanted to simp. This is why it is so important as a man and as a leader. You can't just be driven by your desires, because you have to understand that there's more people that's dependent on you. Had David stopped to think, I am king. What I do affects others. What I do affects people die if I don't act right. He would have took his tail off of that roof and went and got with some of his own wives and been happy, or would have went and put a thing out if he wanted something new. Just like the Most High told him when Nathan came. He's like, bro, if you wanted, I could have given you more. Like, bro, like all you had to do was ask. You didn't have to go take what that one man had. You had to take from her. Now, and mind you, that because of a woman, Uriah was killed. Here he is. Look at the story of the brother that he there with his family at this store, and this woman getting her butt whooped by her Ashy Larry boyfriend, and he go to try to save her from Ashy Larry. Ashy Larry beat him down, pull out a pistol, stand over him, and shoot and kill him over in front of his children. Because he trying to help, because he was taught that a man should go and help out another woman, but this woman is with goofiness and stupid. He lost his life trying to protect the woman. There's so many stories I've seen of men that have lost their life behind a goofy behind female because they gave their power over to a female. And it's sad when it's the man that's not even in the wrong that he got to suffer because of her stupidness, because he just with the wrong woman, and the woman opened the door for foolishness. This man out here, he fighting a war. He out there on the front lines fighting war, and she ain't even thinking about that. She too busy getting plowed to the bed by the king while he out there risking his life for the kingdom. David taking this man who's a loyal servant for him, and instead of having some respect for that man and his situation, even when the woman don't respect it, he out here plotting on that man's woman, and it took that man's wife because he's a simp. David was absolutely a simp. He passed down that simpery to Solomon. And both of them men's simpery was the reason why the kingdom suffered. Solomon got in nonsense because of his simpery. David had the kingdom split because of his simpery. Being a leader and being a man means that you can't give your power over to females, bruh. You have to rethink how everything that you've been taught and how this system tells you to go. And, oh, well, you shouldn't do this or you shouldn't do that. Nah, bruh. Rethink all that mess. Don't just easily take all the stuff that they told you, because guess what? The system is designed for men to give their power over to the nonsense. And then we got our big boy simp. the simp of all simps, man. I had two of them with him. Where did I? It's our boy Ahab. And I wanted to start. My page got reared up. Where was I at? Oh, here we go. 1 Kings 16:28. We're gonna talk about old Ahab. Every Jezebel needs an Ahab. So Omri slept with his fathers and was buried in Samaria, and Ahab, his son, reigned in his stead. And in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab, the son of Omri, to reign over Israel. Now, this is after the kingdom and the split and stuff like that. So Ahab, king over Israel. And Ahab, son of Omri, reigned over Israel in Samaria 22 years. And Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Lord, in the sight of Yah, and above all that were before him. So he was the foulest of foul. And it came to pass, as if it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, he took to wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of Zidonians, and went to serve Baal and worshipped him. So he took the worst of the hyenas. That to show you how much of a simp he was. He just ran after one of Baal's heifers, a bald head heifer. My man went after this bald head heifer Jezebel and started worshiping Baal, and reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. And Ahab made a grove. And Ahab did more to provoke Yahuwah, the Elohim of Israel, to anger than all the kings of Israel that were before him. This is why I wanted to read this part. He made a grove. Do you know where these groves come from and what they did, especially with like Baal and whatnot? So Baal had a female counterpart called Astarte. And Astarte was basically one of the major goddesses, of which, again, we'll see that it's the same thing. Astarte was worshipped from the Bronze Age through classical antiquity, and her name in particularly was associated with her worship in ancient Levant among Canaanites and Phoenicians, though she was originally associated with the Amorite cities. Oh, wait. Who did in Genesis, when the Most High was talking to Abram and he said that, he was going to have to judge the city that they were in, but the sins of the who were not full yet? The sins of the Amorites. Here's a hint for y'all who the Amorites are. The Amorite word for water is water. They change the names and they do all this little stupid hopping around talking about Phoenicians and all this other made up stupid stuff that they be pulling in and try to change the names, but they can't hide who they are because you can find them by the gods that they worship, and I'm gonna prove it. Amorite cities like Ugarit and Emar, as well as Mari and Ebla. She was celebrated in Egypt, especially during the reign of Ramesses. Following important foreign cults there, Phoenicians introduced her cult to the colonies of the Iberian Peninsula. Now, when we look at her equivalents, let's go down here to see her equivalents that they have. She's Aphrodite, she's Venus, and she's also Ishtar. Inanna. Now, for those who've been paying attention, that notice the Inanna is pretty much patron goddess to the hyenas. Most of these hyenas that get into this Ifa stuff that you'll see, that this is basically it's basically voodoo, essentially. It's an old ancient, not just voodoo, really. It's basically the worship, that same worship that they got for Zeus and all them. It's just its original African origin of all that mess. That's what that crap is. And it's real popular in America right now, especially amongst Hebrew women, because, again, this is a place that is run by the Amorites, and they worship Amorite gods. Ishtar, Lilith, all of these different things, Venus, all these. I would be here for hours if I was to sit here and give you all the parallels and all the nonsense that go on in this country that lines up with these goddesses. They also were gods of groves. That's where Ishtar came from. As a matter of fact, you were just worshiping. They were just worshiping Ishtar earlier this month. Ishtar, the bunny and the eggs and the fertility, all this spring nonsense, the maypole, all this stuff comes from these goddesses, which is the same woman, really the same thing. I'll call it that. That's what it is. It's a thing. So a daughter of one of these fallen angels that props itself up to be a doggone god, and it's probably got a male spirit that inhabits his body, cross-dressing as this whole situation, which would be the ultimate diss to these females that talking about they going to a female god for power, and it's just some old funky behind Nephilim spirit that's LARPing as a woman god. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised. I would not saying that there were no female Nephilim, but I just wouldn't be surprised. It would just add to the whole, it would just be the chef's kiss on the foolishness that they push out. So this is the God of this age, of what we are dealing with right now. And he was dealing with this junk even back then. There's nothing new under the sun, y'all. This junk is all the same. These jokers have been doing the same thing for years. Now we're going to go to our boy Ahab and his foolishness. And it came to pass after these things that Naboth, the Jezreelite, had a vineyard that was in Jezreel, hard by the palace of Ahab, king of Samaria. And Ahab spake unto Naboth, saying, Give me thy vineyard, that I may have it for a garden of herbs, because it is near unto my house, and I will give thee for it a better vineyard than it. Or if it seem good to thee, I'll give thee the worth of it in money. And Naboth said to Ahab, Yah forbid it me that I should give the inheritance of my fathers unto thee. Like, this has been in my family. This is a family heirloom. I can't get it. It has no value for me to give it away because this is in our family. I'm going to pass it to my son like it was passed to me. I can't do that. So Ahab came into the house heavy and displeased because of the word of Naboth the Jezreelite, and had spoken to him, for he had said, I will not give thee the inheritance of my fathers. And he laid down upon his bed and turned away his face and would eat no bread. He pouted. A grown man came in. You want to give me his vineyard? Yeah. And he sat down pouting and didn't eat like a little kid, not even eating. But Jezebel, his wife, came to him and said unto him, Why is thy spirit so sad that thou eatest no bread? And he said unto her, Because I spake unto Naboth, because I spake unto Naboth and Jezreelite, and said unto him, Give me that vineyard for money, or else if it please thee, I will give thee another vineyard. And he answered and said, I will not give it to thee. He crying like a little heifer to Jezebel. You a whole king, nigga. You could have just respected it on some man stuff. You know what? I respect that, bro. You know what? I get it. That's your family's. Hey, you know what? Nice vineyard, man. I'll buy some grapes off of you. How about that? Let me cop some grapes off of you at least. You know what I'm saying? Let me put some money in your pocket. You part of my kingdom. On some man stuff. No, simps are not manly at all. Not manly at all. They don't, and again, of all levels, because again, David wasn't manly when he was doing all this stupid side dealing. Adam wasn't manly when he was blaming the woman, and all the manliness that Samson had went with his locks on the floor because he let that stupid heifer get him shaved. Anytime, any simp of any kind, you have I'm showing you different levels of different types of simps, but they're all the same thing. They gave their power over to a woman. So Jezebel, his wife, said unto him, Dost thou now govern the kingdom of Israel? Arise and eat bread, and let thine heart be merry. I will give thee the vineyard of Naboth the Jezreelite. Now, here she go, boss chicken it. Oh, you the king. How he not gonna give it to you? How you just gonna come over here and let him tell you what it is? Don't you govern the whole kingdom? Don't you know what it's? Get up, take a bath, go and get yourself together and get your little drink in you. Go ahead. I don't got them already set up for you. I'm gonna take care of it. Don't you worry about it. I got this. She girl bossed him. So she wrote letters in Ahab's name. Again, a Jezebel. She had no power by herself. She had no power. She wrote the letters in whose name? In Ahab's name. and sealed them with his seal, not her seal. She ain't got no seal. She got no power, but she used his power and sent the letters unto the elders and to the nobles that were in the city dwelling in Naboth. And she wrote in the letters, proclaim a fast and set Naboth on high among the people, and set 2 men, sons of Belial, before him to bear witness against him, saying, thou didst blaspheme God and the king, and then carry him out and stone him that he may die. And we all know this story. If you don't know, you can continue reading the story. I just wanted to point out the key points here of these various men who gave their powers over to women. The Jezebel by herself couldn't have did nothing. She's just another sorry hyena that's out here doing hyena stuff. But her power came when he had the seal of Ahab, and she had the letters that she wrote in Ahab's name. He gave her his power. He gave her his power. That's what it was. That's what it was. I see this one question here. The MP, what that MP means, bro? Take the brackets away and put the word together. take the N out and put the MP on there, and then that's where you get the bracket. That's what the MP stands for. Take the N off and put the MP on there. That's an abbreviation technique sometimes that you'll see in literature, where they'll sometimes have a double meaning of a word and they'll have another thing. So yeah, it's the original sin, but it's really the original simp. That's why I titled it that way. You take out the M, the N, and put the MP on there, and you got the original simp. It was the original sin, but it's really about the original simp, because that same junk that was in Adam is the same junk that we seen in Samson, the same junk that we seen in David, and the same junk that we see here in Ahab. It's the original sin of man, by giving your power away, by giving your leadership away into a woman. And in one form or another, all these men did this, and at the same time, it always brought destruction. With Adam, it brought down all of mankind, and we ended up in the situation that we were in. With Samson, it made him fall, and he became a laughingstock amongst the Philistines and cost him his life eventually. He probably could have lived much longer had he not given his power over to that heifer Jezebel, had he just packed her tail up and sent her cooking and got him another woman that wasn't trying to kill him on the low. David wouldn't have had issues in his household. Absalom would have never raped his sister and wouldn't have had sex with all his wives in front of David's wives, his daddy's wives, in front of all the people in the country, and led a whole rebellion against him. And then the 2 kingdoms separate, and all these different things happen. Like, none of this stuff would have happened. Solomon wouldn't have had that lust spirit so much in, because again, he was Bathsheba's son. So again, it was passed down from his parents, and that's why he had, again, most of those wives he had was for power marriages, like marriages in alignments with clans and stuff. But still, you are aligning with all these foreign nations. Now you out here doing all this mess. Again, simpery. Ahab, had he had some cojones, he would have been righteous. He wouldn't have been worshiping female and effeminate gods, gay gods, essentially. Dagon, a gay god, and putting up groves to female gods. He was submitting to female rulership from the get-go. This is the problem that we have as men. We got to stop blaming these women and take it upon ourselves. Don't feed the hyenas. When you see these niggas on these different things, they out here talking, oh, hey, beautiful. Hey, man, clown them niggas. You sound dumb, bro. You sound stupid. You getting on this, oh, hey, beautiful. You see there's 50 other niggas that saying the same thing. You want to get on there, oh, she going to think I'm different. She going to give me some attention. I'm going to send her this DM because I'm sure no other dude is sending her a DM because she posting all these pictures with her cheeks out. Stop simping over these sorry, Lilith-led demonic hyenas. This is how we reclaim the thing. So what? The system favors them. If you don't give them the time of day to give them a baby, they can't put you on child support. Yeah, will it be tougher to find a wife? Is it tougher? You got to control your flesh for longer? Absolutely. But that's what it means to be set apart. That's what it means to be that when the Most High said, only a remnant. Not every man is going to walk like this, but are you going to be when niggas like, oh, I'm built different, but doing the same thing that everybody else is doing? If you really built different, then walk different, man. Stand up with your own too. Gird your loins up and tell these heifers, nah. Then when you get the real woman that's down for the cause, is going to come and jump on your program, submit to your leadership, and will bring something to the table. Because trust and believe, men are the prize. These stupid heifers want to sit here and, oh, I'm the prize. I'm the table. No, ma'am. No, ma'am, you're not. You are not. Isaiah 9 disagrees with you. It disagrees. You're going to need covering of a man. And you can't girl boss yourself into the kingdom. So you can try that girl boss crap with y'all, but guess what? A lot of y'all going to be, your bones going to decorate the wilderness and going to decorate Babylon because of your rebellion. Men and women. Oh, we can't just leave them out here. Oh, these special women. No, you know, it's always gonna be some nigga that's gonna try to simp for these sorry hyenas that ain't gonna want to get on the program for what the Most High got. It's gonna always be like that. But hey, we can't save them, and you can't save the niggas that's trying to save them. It's time we start calling these dudes out and stop simping for these chicks, bro. Stop feeding into this nonsense. You see the stupid heifer post that video of her just staring in the camera with 90 filters on her face. She twirling around like she's so fine when she looking like the Frankenstein monster underneath all them filters and makeup and fake hair and all that stuff. And you over here, oh gosh, oh hey beautiful, oh you're so fine, oh. Stop simping. Pick your manhood up and be a man, bro. Focus on you getting yourself, cultivating your soul. I did a thing talking about the CSC, the cyclic soul check, how to check your soul. Focus on getting your soul fixed so that you can be proper and meet to serve the Most High. Seek the Most High and ask him, what would you have me to do for your kingdom? What would you have, if you don't know what he wants you to do, seek him. What would you have me to do? I want to be at service in your kingdom. What would you have me to do? Show me the way and seek Yah. Don't worry about this foolishness and all this stupid stuff and all this dumb. You around here running on a hamster wheel because you got to get a house because then you feel like if you get a house and you ready to get, nah, bro, maybe the Most High don't want you to get a house over here in Babylon. Maybe he wants you to focus on something else. Maybe he don't want you to have this or he don't want you to have that. Maybe he got you going in a different way. Stop thinking that just the way that they told you is the way. Because remember, they're going to tell you that this is the way and support men that do that because you got to keep the Ponzi scheme going. This economy is a Ponzi scheme and it requires men, the labor of men to keep it going. So they use these hyenas to basically force you dudes to be the new taskmasters. That's why when you see these chicks talking about soft life, they sorry. They just sorry. They just want to lay around and be lazy and let you do all the work and be a slave. They don't do nothing. They're going to sit here and complain and act like they're doing whatever, but you going to work, you coming home, you doing all the stuff like this and that, just for a good boy, and she can give you some sex 2 times a month. Mind you, you're now serving number 157. The other niggas didn't have to do all that. Oh, Ashley Larry, he just pulled up on her on the side of the road, and 2 hours later, he was taking her down in the back seat of his baby mama's car. All he got to do is hit her up, and he can take her down to any one of his baby mama's houses that he's staying in, and she cool with that. He ain't got to pay her bills. He ain't got to do all that stuff. But they put that requirement on you because now they can't use their looks no more because they're getting old. That's what's happening. A lot of these millennials, they're getting old. So now they're looking for young niggas to simp for them. Don't be that simp, my brother. Don't be that simp. There are some women that ain't out here on that program. They're extremely rare, but they out here. They're extremely rare. You got to trust in y'all more than anything if that's the desire that you want. But I'm telling you right now, don't fall for the nonsense and do not simp for the hyenas. That is what got us into this mess, and that's what keeps this junk going. Because guess what? If these sorry heifers post a thirst trap and nobody say nothing on it, if all the dudes are saying, yo, you need to put on clothes. Nah, that ain't it, shorty. Nah, that ain't it. She gonna get mad and talk crap about it, but guess what? She gonna keep posting, and the only thing they're gonna be doing is gonna be hyena on hyena support. It's just gonna be hyenas basically being gay for each other at that point. Oh, you got it, girl. Oh, yeah, I don't care what these men say. You got it. But I get to watch. That junk gonna change. If they can't call up they favorite little sneaky link and do what it do. If you tell her, nah, bro, we ain't doing this no more. I don't want you coming around here like that. I don't even know who you mess with like that, shorty. You gotta be bringing. You look at all that stuff that's happening in Houston with all them STDs and stuff. These chicks is nasty, bro. These dudes is nasty too. And then again, they all sleeping with the same type of dude. And then now you finna go run and jump in that tainted pool of nonsense. Come on, bro. We gotta carry ourselves better, man. We gotta get out of this mess. It's time for us to stop feeding the monster, bro. We need to stop feeding the monster. If the men start turning away, stop giving these heifers attention, stop looking at them, and stop giving them all them accolades on social media, you will see a massive change. Trust me. you will see a massive change. Because as much as they say they be just doing this for them and all this and that, when the men be going on there, them simps give them all that stuff, that feeds that hyena in them. If that hyena don't get fed, they're going to get frustrated. And they either going to get right or get gone. Straight up. Straight up. Shoot. That's it. Yes, he was. He was. Exactly, brother. He's the OG. Adam started, he's the OG simp. He started all this. Adam had the authority to kick all that woman out and kick the snake out and put that woman in check. But he ain't do it. And because of him, mankind fell. And here's this nonsense that we're all in to this day. I mean, there's so many more examples of simpery in the Bible, of all kinds of stuff. I'll even tell you, Isaac was a lightweight simp. Why in the world did Rebecca have to tell him that, hey, I ain't having no kids? Didn't your daddy go pray for kids and stuff? You should go do that. Why did she have to tell him what to do on all that situation? Why didn't he take the initiative as the leader of the house, knowing his father was in that situation, knowing that, again, like I said, low-key simpery. Low-key simpery. He was spoiled. He was spoiled. Isaac was spoiled. I give him that. He was spoiled. He was very, very spoiled. But he was low-key simpery. Lack of leadership is the show of simpery. Abram wasn't no simp. I'll tell you that straight up. He was not. He wasn't tolerating no nonsense, because if you read the book of Jasher, you'll see the passage where he went to go visit Ishmael. And when he went to visit Ishmael, when Ishmael's first wife was on nonsense, she sounded like one of these hyenas of the day. She ain't greet Abram when he came. Ain't offer him or his camels no water. She yelling and cussing at the kids. She ain't had no food or nothing ready. She just sitting around being lazy, doing stupid, talking crap about the man that's out there risking his tail to bring home food for the family. He left her with a little parable, and that basically was telling Ishmael, hey, replace this heifer. The tent that you got, the peg in your tent is no good. Replace it. Ishmael instantly understood it. He sent her tail home, and she didn't take the kids with him. I'm going to tell you that now. The kids stayed with the daddy. The kids belong to the man. If y'all want to hear some more good info about that, check out Law for Love. Judge Shar, she been going in on that stuff this week in her lives. That's been, man, look, she's dropping bars, especially legal bars. If you out in that situation and you struggling with, the system and stuff, she's dropping legal bars out there for you. Hit her up and put some money in her pocket and get some good counsel for your situation, because the system is ridiculous, but there's a way out. But you have to be wise. But the best thing to do is not get involved in it at all. Not at all. Leave these heifers where they at. Lead them where they at. Don't be like Adam and simp and cause your seed to have to suffer because of you. Now look at all the kids that have to suffer because their daddy couldn't control himself, and now they raised by a crazy mama that's hell on wheels. We don't talk about how these goofy mamas affect kids. We really don't. But it's a real thing. So we want to change the situation. And you tired of this situation? Don't just be blaming women. You got to come after these dudes, all the simps, from the dude that's the player that get the girls every day like that. These dudes are the ones that's on the podcast now. And they tell you, you can deal with this, but she's useful for the crew. So just use her for what you want and keep it moving. No. Now you add more trauma and more nonsense and then putting yourself in a situation where, no, bro. Control yourself. Control yourself. When are we going to start teaching self-control and stop going with this lie that we're just uncontrollable? We're not uncontrollable beasts. We're made in an image of the Most High. We should walk like it and talk like it. Like, stop throwing yourself at every female. So that's what I wanted to say, man. This is something that's always hard, in my soul, man, because I can't stand it. Like I said, I was former simp. I walked that path. I don't want no other young man to walk that path. Or no other my fellow, brothers is of the same, age. I'm millennial out here. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to walk that path. And then also don't want us to keep walking the path where we're just slaves to lust. Because that's how they keep us in the nonsense. It's the curse of Balaam. Just send the women their way and hey, they're going to fall. Nah, man, we got to be better than that, man. We got to be on some type of stuff like my boy Joseph. Joseph had Potiphar, her wife. Now, mind you, this is Egypt. So she was bad. She wasn't no ugly chick. Had her, and Joseph was, pretty boy status. He walked in that room. When you read the book of Jasher that elaborates on it more, she invited all her little friends over and stuff, had her little girl party over there. They over there cutting these fruit up, and this nigga walk in and they all cutting themselves because they just so lusting after this bro. Lusting after bro. They out there cutting themselves. But this dude wasn't play. He didn't play. He didn't give her no. Joseph is literally the anti-simp. He's a perfect example of not being a simp. When she was at the door and she had got the perfume on, she probably had on her little negligee showing off her curves, probably darn near naked. She probably took her clothes off in front of the nigga to try to throw herself at him. And again, she's an Egyptian woman. And Potiphar was a high up, so she wasn't no ugly chick. But Joseph smelled that stuff before he walked in the door. He was like, and went through the other door. He dodged her like the plague and got thrown in jail because of it. But that's all right. He got elevated as a result because the Most High gonna come and look out for you when these heifers lie. I could tell you for a fact, I had heifers lie on me. I had 3 white women lie on me at a job. Now, mind you, that should have been grounds for me to go. I'm a whole black dude, whole Hebrew man. Had 3 white women lie on me. 3 at the same time because they was mad because they got checked. It wasn't even me that did it. And that's the thing. I had other people that was looking out for me. That the controller's assistant heard them talking crap because I made a ticketing system, in the company. So I said, hey, if you got an IT issue, I done cleared it with all the owners and all the managers. I did my due diligence and set this up. Everybody started using the system, but these heifers thought that they were special. So they kept trying to come and bypass it. And I kept saying, nah, I stood on my own too. No, you're not finna come in here and bypass the system. You're not finna come in here and do all what you want to do. No, you're going to follow the rules. You're not special. They got mad. They didn't like that. So they were talking noise. The assistant heard that. She went to the HR person and said, hey, they're talking bad about this man and blah, blah, blah. I had no idea none of this happened. So HR talks to them about their situation. They go, oh, how come you don't say nothing to him when he touches us? Lying, because mind you, they were the one chick looked like Miss Piggy, and I'm not that type of Hebrew dude. I don't deal with the chubby overweight white girl. That's not my jam. I'm not that type of man. I'm not that type of dude. I know some of us has got low self-esteem, and that's where we at, but I ain't him. I ain't that. And the Most High protected the brother in that situation. Because even when they came and told me, the HR guy and the CEO that was there at the time, they were like, you dude just straight up told me, he's like, in a normal situation, this is automatic termination. But they knew it was nonsense. So they just put me on the final warning. And then one of the owners came to me and told me, he said, nah, that's nonsense. Don't worry, I got that. Do you know I sat there and watched them walk they changed the rules in their department and made things crazy. They clamped down on them super hard. And I got to see every last one of them jokers quit or get fired. When the last one got left out, one of the owners, she came over to my door and said, hey, the last of those witches are gone. I just want to let you know. Those are her exact words. So when you don't simp and you stand on your own too, the Most High will come through for you, man. I had the same thing happen at the next job I went to after that. Had a Hebrew woman, older Hebrew woman, try to get me in trouble because she asking me all these personal questions. Mind you, it's after I just got finished dealing with Tweedledee Tweedledum and the other third little dumb white chick that was lying on me. So I had to deal with this other situation with her, and she lied on me again, talking about, I was the doctor that I supposedly helped was, it was a hospital. That's why I'm not cool on hospitals now, because they ain't full of nothing but hyenas for the most part. There's some, not all, but it's jam-packed, high 90s. I'd say 95, 96% hyena. And she tried to lie on me again. I got out of it. Went to the doctor. Doctor's like, no, he was a great guy. They figured out she lied. Of course, nothing happened to her because hyenas don't go after the hyenas. But I guess if it hadn't been proven to me, guess who would have been fired? But the Most High looked out for me. So when you don't fall for the nonsense and you stand on your own too, like, she's sitting there because see all the other Hebrew dudes in their place was simping, because they're getting played from all these different chicks. And so they out there playing them games. I ain't played them games. Nah, I'm here to work, bro. I ain't here to play games with y'all niggas. And I stood on my own too. So if you stand on your own too, the Most High will come through. I didn't mean for that to rhyme. If you stand on your own too, the Most High will come through. But it's true. I'm a perfect witness to that, bro. Stand up. Don't let these heifers take you out of your place. Stand up and do what it do for the Most High. Stand on business. So, with that said, man, I appreciate y'all coming through and hanging with the brother for this day. You know what I'm saying? Men, don't let your fellow men simp. You know what I'm saying? Be your brother's keeper and call him out when he's simping. And if he don't want to hear it, dust your feet and leave that nigga to the system. And when he start going through his baby mama drama or all any other nonsense, hey, I tried to tell you, but you wouldn't listen because you were too busy simping. Oh man. So with that, man, I will see y'all next week. Y'all be blessed, man.
Okay, come on, we gotta get this one.
Hold on. Cool. The situation's sticky. Houdini and get tricky. I hope God really forgive me. I pray Jesus come and get me. I pray the ones that say they're really with me and really with me. And if they not, I pray whatever they do it quickly. Like Jay Garrett, Barry Allen, Wally West. If this the way it is, just know I always gave my best. I tried to make an A, but my tango E, that's my flesh. I could go on and on and on, but I digress. All I know is I've been seasawing, so I really can't complain. How you gonna ask God to grow it, then get mad when it rains? That's why I keep the same vibe, even when I'm in a rut. Long as I keep waking up, long as I keep waking up. I finally realized I'm not lonely, I'm just members only. I'm real selective of who I vibe with and who I call my homies. I'm not impressed with love and life is sweet, Zach and Cody. I'm way more impressed with a hater who's not scared to show me. Good head on his shoulders, he in school, he got some sense. But he way too impatient, tired of waiting, he wanna be rich. Lil' brother think the answer is a blick or something he can flip. Don't even have a lawyer's line say, lil' brother didn't read the script. I'm trying to lead by example, I'm trying to read, find the answers. Babies being raised by babies, prices going up on Pampers. Food they feed is full of cancer. Outside is real Jurassic. The weather's clouded, but I got a million chances. All I know is I've been seasawing, so I really can't complain. How you gonna ask God to grow it, then get mad when it rains? That's why I keep the same vibe, even when I'm in a rut. Long as I keep waking up, long as I keep waking up.